Devaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udirayet. Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityaṁ bhāgavata-sevayā. Bhagavati Uttamashloke Bhaktir Bhavati Nashtake. Durlabhamanasho Deho Dehinam Shanabhangurai. Tatrapi Durlabham Manye Vaikuntha Priyadarshinaha. Nivritta Upagiyamana Bhavo Shadachotra Manobhirama. Kautamashloka Gunaruvada Umam Svirajit Vina Pashutnad. Guruve Gaur Chandraya Radhikaya Tadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tad Bhaktaya Namo Namaham. Paramananda Pathaya Prema Varshi Aksharaya Te Sarvada Sarvasevyaya Shri Krishnaya Namastate. O Srimad-Bhāgavatam, I offer my respectful obeisance unto you. By reading you, one attains transcendental bliss, which all of you are attaining, because you read Bhagavatam daily. And for your syllables, rain pure love of God upon the reader. So beautiful. The syllables are like the rains of pure love of God. And you are always served by everyone, for you are the incarnation of Lord Krishna. So beautiful words glorifying Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. It's always good to read some verses about the Bhagavatam. It helps us to better understand this process of Shravanam, which is the process as recommended by Shri Prahlad Maharaj. Bhakti begins with Shravanam, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam. So getting a chance to read Bhagavatam, hear Bhagavatam in the association of devotees, in the human form of life is no joke. And fortunate are those who take it and understand the value of it and make their lives perfect. Because this is the only thing which gives real happiness. So thank you again for joining, and special gratitude to Sudhir Prabhu and Vipul Prabhu for coordinating yesterday and day before. Sorry I couldn't join because of some other services. You can join the program. But we're back, and let's read from the point where we stopped last time. We are reading Canto 10, Chapter 2, entitled Prayers by the Demigods. And this particular section which we are reading from text number 27, I believe, 27 onwards, these are all prayers by the demigods. 26 actually. 27. Yeah, 26 onwards, the demigods start to speak. All these demigods, to whom are they speaking? They are seeing, O Lord Brahma, Shiva, Narada, Asita, Devala, Vyasa, all these great sages, great demigods, Indra, Chandra, they have assembled, they have approached the room of Devaki, and they are, with respectful obeisance, they offered their pranams, and then they start to offer their prayers. These are all different prayers. Sattvam na chedhatar idam nijam bhaved vijnanam ajnana bhidhapamarjanam guna prakashayet anumiyate bhavan prakashate yasya chayena vagunaha. Translation purport by His Divine Grace, Abhay Charana Arvinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Śrī Prabhupada ki. O Lord, cause of all causes, if your transcendental body were not beyond the modes of material nature, one could not understand the difference between matter and transcendence. Only by your presence can one understand the transcendental nature of your Lordship, who are the controller of material nature. Your transcendental nature is very difficult to understand unless one is influenced by the presence of your transcendental form. Purport. It is said, Traigunya Vishaya Veda Nishtraigunya Bhava Arjuna. Unless one is situated in transcendence, one cannot understand the transcendental nature of the Lord. As stated in the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Athapi te deva padambujadvaya prasada leshanu grita evahi janati tattvam bhagavan mahinmo nachanya ekopi chiram vichinvan. Only by the mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead can one understand him. Those who are in the modes of material nature, although speculating for thousands of years, cannot understand him. The Lord has innumerable forms. Rama dimurti shukala niyamena tishtan. And unless these forms, such as Lord Ramachandra, Narsimha, Krishna, and Balaram, are transcendental, how can they be worshipped by devotees since time immemorial? Bhaktya mam abhijanati yavan yaschasmi tattvataha. Bhagavad Gita 18.55. Devotees who awaken their transcendental nature in the presence of the Lord and who follow the rules and regulations of devotional service can understand Lord Krishna, Lord Ramachandra, and other incarnations who are not of this material world, but who come from the spiritual world for the benefit of the people in general. If one does not take to this process, one imagines or manufactures some form of God according to material qualities and can never awaken a real understanding of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The words Bhaktya mam abhijanati yavan yaschasmi tattvataha signify that unless one worships the Supreme Personality, worships the Lord according to the regulative devotional principles, one cannot awaken transcendental nature. Deity worship, even in the absence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, awakens the transcendental nature of the devotee, who thus becomes increasingly attached to the Lord's lotus feet. Hare Kṛṣṇa. It's a long purport, almost 4 pages, so I'll stop here so the devotees can also read. Maybe I'll share comments after we have read the whole purport by His Divine Grace, so we can read. Someone can read next 1 or 2 paragraphs from here. I don't know if everyone is getting chance regularly, but I think everyone will get chance today. So who is inspired to read today? Next.
I can read, Prabhuji.
Please.
The appearance of Krishna is the answer to all the imaginative iconography of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Everyone imagines the form of the Supreme Personality of Godhead according to his mode of material nature. In the Brahma Samhita, it is said that the Lord is the oldest person. Therefore, a section of religious imagine that God must be very old, and therefore they depict the form of the Lord like a very old man. But in the same Brahma Samhita, that is contradicted. Although he is the oldest of all the living entities, he has eternal form of as a fresh youth. The exact words used in the connection in the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam are Vijnanam Agnana Vidha Pamarjanam. Vijnana means transcendental knowledge of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Vijnana is also experienced knowledge. Transcendental knowledge has to be accepted by the descending process of disciplic succession as Brahma, presents in the knowledge of Krishna in the Brahma Samhita. Brahma Samhita is Vijnana as realized by Brahma's transcendental experience, and in that way he presented the form of the pastimes of the Krishna in the transcendental abode. Ajnana Bheda means that which can match all kinds of speculation. In ignorance, people are imagining the form of the Lord. Sometimes he has no form, and sometimes he has form according to their different imaginations. But the presentation of Krishna in the Brahma Samhita is Vijnana, scientific, experienced knowledge given by Lord Brahma and accepted by Lord Chaitanya. There is no doubt about it. Sri Krishna form, Sri Krishna's flute, Krishna's color, everything is reality. Here it is said that this Vijnanam is always defeating all kinds of speculative knowledge. Therefore, the demigods prayed, without your appearing as Krishna, as you are, neither Ajnana Bida, the necessance of speculative knowledge, nor Vijnanam would be realized. Ajnana Vida Pamarchanam. By your appearance, the speculative knowledge of ignorance will be vanquished, and the real experience of knowledge of authorities like Lord Brahma will be established. Men influenced by their three modes of material nature imagine their own God according to the modes of material nature. In this way, God is presented in various ways, but your appearance will establish what the real form of God is. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, wonderful explanation by Prabhupada. So as we see that people in this age of Kali, they are just speculation. It's like a frog in the well. The frog doesn't know how big the ocean is. So people think that how can a god, be in this world? So they think that Amarendra Prabhu was giving. So they think that God is also part of this, universe. But if the God is part of the universe, how can he create the universe? So, it's like, frog's philosophy. And also we can see that you just read, right, Rama Adi Murtish Kalim, so all the incarnations of the Lord are coming into existence by mercy of Krishna. So there is non-difference, actually, all the incarnations. Of course, there is, as we know, little difference, but he expands himself into various incarnations for the sake of. So here we can see that Lord Brahma, with his, meditation, he was able to get this knowledge. But the scientists and all, they speculate so much, the Big Bang theory and all, very, very, even Einstein and many other scientists did not believe them. But the knowledge that is coming from Parampara, directly from Krishna, all the way to Lord, our Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada, is authentic. That's what I understood, Prabhuji. Please, Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. We'll read the next part. It's not for good. Anyone else wants to read next 3 paragraphs?
I can read, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna devotees, Dhanam Pranam, all glory to Srila Prabhupada. The highest blunder committed by the impersonalist is to think that when the incarnation of God comes, he accepts a form of matter in the mode of goodness. Actually, the form of Krishna or Narayan is transcendental to any material idea. Even the greatest impersonalist, Shankaracharya, has admitted Narayana Paro Abhyakta. The material creation is caused by the Abhyakta, the impersonal manifestation of matter, or the non-phenomenal total reservoir of matter, and Krishna is transcendental to that material conception. This is expressed in the Srimad-Bhāgavatam as Shuddha Sattva, or transcendental. The Lord does not belong to the material modes of goodness, for he is above the position of material goodness. He belongs to the transcendental, eternal status of bliss and knowledge. Dear Lord, the demigods prayed, when you appear in the different incarnations, you take different names and forms according to different situations. Lord Krishna is your name because you are all attractive. You are called Shama Sundara because of your transcendental beauty. Shama means blackish, yet they say that you are more beautiful than thousands of cupids. Kandar Pakoti Kamonaya. Although you appear in a color which is compared to that of a blackish cloud, you are the transcendental absolute, and therefore your beauty is many, many times more attractive than that the delicate body of Cupid. Sometimes you are called Giridhari because you are lifted the hill known as Govardhan. You are sometimes called Nanda Nandana or Vasudev or Devaki Nandana because you appear as the son of Maharaj Nanda Devaki or Vasudev. Impersonalists think that you many names or forms are according to a particular type of work or quality because they accept you from the position of a material observer. So here we see Prabhuji that impersonalist or non-devotee thinks that when Lord comes with a human form, he also takes the material substance to form his body. Abhajanti mamura manasim tunam asritam. But Krishna is always Satchit Ananda in Shuddha Sattva. So whether he is in material world or comes for his devotees or in spiritual world, he is never get old, he is always young and is eternal with Satchit Ananda. And he takes the name the devotees call him according to the love and according to his defined characters from the love only. But the impersonalist or non-devotee thinks that the names are according to particular type of work or quality. So they're thinking only from the material aspect. But devotees call the Krishna as per his with love according to the way he reacts with the or interact with the devotees. Back to Prabhuji, Hare Krishna.
Very nice. Thank you. Shishilpa Mataji, you want to read the rest of the purport?
I'll try, Prabhuji.
Please.
Our dear Lord, the way of understanding is not to understand your absolute nature, form, and activities by mental speculation. One must engage himself in devotional service. Then one can understand your absolute nature and your transcendental form, name, and quality. Actually, only a person who has a little taste for the service of your lotus feet can understand your transcendental nature or form or quality. Others may go on speculating for millions of years, but it is not possible for them to understand even a single part of your actual position. In other words, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, cannot be understood by the non-devotees because there is a curtain of Yoga Maya which covers Krishna's actual features. As confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 7.25, Naham prakasa sarvasya. The Lord says, I am not exposed to anyone and everyone. When Krishna came, he was actually present on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, and everyone saw him. But not everyone could understand that he was the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Still, everyone who died in his presence attained complete liberation from the material bondage and was transferred to the spiritual world. Because foolish Mudas, because foolish Mudas do not awaken their spiritual nature. They do not understand Krishna or Rama. Avajananti mam muda manasum tanum ashritam. Even big academic scholars, not considering the endeavors of the acharyas who have recommended devotional service in many elaborate commentaries and notes, think that Krishna is fictitious. This is due to the lack of transcendental knowledge and a failure to awaken Krishna's consciousness. One should have the common sense to ask why, if Krishna or Rama were fictitious. If Krishna or Rama were fictitious, stalwart scholars like Sridhara Swami, Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, Veera Raghava, Vijayadvaja, Vallabhacharya, and many other recognized acharyas could have spent so much time to write about Krishna in notes and commentaries on Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. Hare Kṛṣṇa.
Thank you. So that's a nice thing. Thank you. Prabhu also shared some nice points. So there's a lot of lessons in this whole verse, which is based on understanding the Supreme Lord. So we'll try to make some notes for our understanding and try to see, like, maybe we can all help and contribute to make these notes. What are the things or qualities which are conducive to understand Krishna, who is the Supreme Personality of God? This is a short form to write Supreme Personality of God, SPOG, and which are not conducive. There are a lot of things in this verse for understanding Supreme Personality of God. So we can take some points based on this verse or other bona fide scriptures. Would someone like to share? What are the conducive qualities or traits which will help one to understand? What are not so conducive things? Please feel free to add to this list.
4 regulative principles is a conducive.
Very nice point. So, and we read that here also, right? That unless one worships the Lord according to the regulative devotional principles, one cannot awaken transcendental nature. We just read. So basically, regulative principles of bhakti, which include certain do's and don'ts. So I think Prabhuji mentioned about the don'ts, which are no meat eating, no intoxication, no gambling, and no illicit sex. So not following the, let's put it this way, following the 4 regulative principles, 4 regs. Very nice point. How it will help us, as Prabhupada is mentioning, Traigunya Vishaya Veda Nishtraigunya Bhavarjuna. These regulative principles of no meat eating, no intoxication, no gambling help us to transcend from lower modes to higher modes and eventually become to the stage of transcendence. So nice point. What else?
Following the previous acharyas.
Following the previous acharyas. It's very nice. which will help us understand. In the purport also, if you remember, we Srila Prabhupada is mentioning, this is Vijnana, this is experience knowledge, as spoken by Brahma Samhita, Vijnana, realized knowledge, Brahma's transcendental experience. So Lord Brahma, who is the chief creator of this world, is not just speaking some, hickory-dickory thing. Like what is, recently as Grace Pran Govind Prabhu was mentioning a very nice point. We met him recently, and now we'll side topic, and we'll keep coming to this also, but a side topic here. Different levels of knowledge. The first level of knowledge is in the head, right? Knowledge in head, correct? So one may have knowledge in the head, right? But one may not apply it in one's life. So that's just information, right? That's information without transformation is practically waste. Do you agree with that? And that's kind of a lot of jnanis and speculators, as Prabhupada is mentioning. So basically mental speculation. A lot of people do mental speculation. Oh, I think bhakti is that. I think bhakti. So bhakti is not an armchair philosophy where we keep speculating, where we think, oh, maybe it's like this, maybe it's like that. Bhakti is not like that. Bhakti is not armchair philosophy. Bhakti is, Prabhupada understands bhakti is, loving devotional service. It's seva. Devotional service basically means seva. Then the next level is, actually this should be, we'll go from, the order does not look right. I'll start this here. That's information. You all agree with that? That's the first level. We have the information, do's, don't. A lot of people may know what is right, what is wrong, but very few people may try to follow it. Is it not? What's the next level? Then they basically
application,
or they apply. Sorry? Yes,
Believe, maybe.
Believe, yes. That's also a very good stage. To firmly believe, yeah. That's actually a very high level. And how does belief come? Through proper application, right? When we, let's say someone said this doctor is good, right? It's here. But when we go there and we experience that, oh, that I went to the doctor gave me good advice, medicine, and then our knowledge will turn into belief through application. So application of knowledge. And then slowly the transformation will happen. And you can also say it's belief. From faith or trust, it's going into higher level. It's it's not just faith. It's not just in the air. It's one level further. And then basically comes realization. We call self-realized, realization of knowledge through experience, through hearing, through in-depth understanding of that subject matter, and through proper application also. That's called realization. And then one level above that is revealed knowledge. Sometimes say this knowledge is revealed. Also, as mentioned sometimes in this revealed scriptures. Tene Brahma Hridayadi Kave. But Brahma, this knowledge was revealed to him. Why? Because he was in that alignment. He was following all those stages. He did the practice tapah, and that connection helped him to understand. Like even Lord Brahma gave Chatushloki Bhagavatam, but later, the great sages, Asitra, Devala, Vyasa, Narada, etc., they could further expand through revealed knowledge. This is a side point which just came to my mind, but we will keep working on this list. So it's important to keep moving up, not just have in the head. That's important. Otherwise, if we don't even have in the head, then how will we try to even follow it? If we don't know what's right or wrong, then we will not even have the first step of knowing or of even trying to work on the right? So through reading and hearing, we get to know what's right or wrong, what are the do's and don'ts. And then through practice, through application, it goes deeper, and then realization and further steps. So what else is good and what's not so good in understanding?
So initiation is the same thing following previous acharyas.
Following previous acharyas, initiation,
Association.
I think this regulative principles of bhakti covers a lot, but we can mention a little bit more specific. Association is a very good point. Reading, hearing, Shravanam, Kirtanam, so proper all these A, B, C, D, E of bhakti, which we have discussed multiple times. Association, books, chanting, deity worship. Prabhupada mentions deity worship here, and that deity worship awakens transcendental nature. So basically, we need to awaken transcendental nature. And Prabhupada mentioned initiation also, so we will see how to link it. Initiation. Let's spell it right. Okay. So Krishna is all pure. Like, comparison is given like fire. Fire. Krishna is all pure, transcendental. And matter cannot touch transcendence. Right? But through the medium of wood, sometimes the wood is touching the fire, and the person, let's say I'm holding the wood and putting the wood in the fire. So the wood is connected to my hand and to the fire. So that wood is compared to initiation, or the guru who connects us to Krishna. If we directly touch the fire, what will happen? The hand will burn. Correct, Akshay? But if we have the medium of wood, that is spiritual master, the spiritual master helps us to connect to Krishna, and that's basically initiation. So talking about initiation, I'm very happy to share that Prabhu got his initiation, the Gayatri initiation, from His Holiness Varshana Swami Maharaj. And his new name is Prema Sankirtan Prabhu. Such a beautiful name. So it just happened on this beautiful day of Sri Narottam Das Thakur's appearance, which was on Wednesday, which was 2 days back. So Prema Sankirtan. So such a beautiful name, because he's always relishing the sweet, loving name, form, and qualities of Lord in the form of wonderful kirtans. Especially loves kirtans, especially the bhajans of Narottam Das Thakur. So it's not a coincidence that his guru named Prabir Prabhu, Prema Sankirtan Prabhu, on the day of Narottam Das Thakur's appearance. It's such a beautiful. So congratulations, Prabhu, and we're so happy for you.
Please, all of you, I'm paying my obeisances to all of you lotus feet. Please bless me. Thank you, Hare Kṛṣṇa.
Thank you, Prabhu. So yeah, so initiation. And I think this is something every devotee should aspire for. Initiate means to, sometimes devotees get nervous. It's not, initiation is not like, it's not the goal. It's an important milestone in our Krishna conscious journey. So we must aspire for, and we must work towards it, so we can also get shelter of a bona fide spiritual master and keep moving in our journey through the medium of Guru Sadhu Shastra. So a lot of points we discussed. Let's take some more points. Initiation is important journey step. And seva, Prabhupada is mentioning. Because we don't want just theoretical knowledge. Prabhupada is emphasizing here. Active service. One must engage himself in devotional service. How? Under the guidance of bona fide spiritual master. Again, ties to initiation. Only when a person has little taste for service, your lotus feet can be understood. It's a very important point. A lot of people may say big things. Bhakti is not armchair philosophy, as we discussed. Talking big things is very easy, but we should have some practical seva. Everyone should have some practical seva, like book distribution, having festivals, home programs, Harinam, Kirtan, cooking prasadam, bhoga for the Lord, coordinating there are so many ways. It's not that there's only one way. Everyone, young or old, male or female, rich or poor, literate or illiterate, any India or America, anyone and everyone can engage in some form of practical seva. So we must find something which inspires us and which keeps us going in our bhakti. There's so many ways we can do that. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur used to mention that don't try to see Krishna. Try to serve Krishna, so Krishna wants to see you. Bhakti is a process where God comes to see the devotee, because Krishna is more eager to see the devotee than the devotee eager to see the Lord. And the practical proof of this is the story of Mata Shabari. In the story of Shabari, we all know that she was the disciple of Matanga Rishi. In Ramayana, we have heard this because it's so beautiful. This is a real story of getting eyes to see God. This whole topic is about getting the eyes to see God. How do we see God? Premanda Churita, the one who has the eyes of loving devotional service, then they can see God. The Shabari, we all know, was from a very low caste. She did not have great knowledge. She did not know a lot of verses and all this, but she had firm faith in the Guru, Matanga Rishi. His Guru said, Shabari, I didn't see God in this life. Of course, I'm in the spiritual world. I'll see God there, but the Supreme Lord will come in this life and see you. And gave the benediction. Others used to say, hey, Shabari. And then she would collect berries, she would collect flowers. Oh, my Lord would come any moment. Practical devotional service under the guidance of spiritual master with faith and devotion. See, all those points are seen in that. Examples of great souls. So she had firm faith, she had great determination, she was following the rules and do's and don'ts of bhakti under the guidance of spiritual master. She was doing practical devotional service. She was always thinking of Krishna's name form qualities, which are transcendental. And people used to mock, oh, you think God will come to see you, such a bhilni, you are a low-class woman, God will not come to see you. God will come to see us. We are high-class brahmanas. We learn a lot of mantras and tantras. Speculative knowledge, proud. Bhakti which makes us proud. An achievement which makes us proud is worse. Or a mistake which makes us humble is better than an achievement which makes us proud. Right? Better to be low class and be humble than to be so-called high class and be proud about it. So, but Shabari would not mind their words. Shabari would just say, please don't ruin, my offerings. Don't. My Guru has told, and he will come. And later, it's a long story, but Lord Ram did come. Lord Ram did come and gave the darshan to Shabri and gave the teachings of Nanda Bhakti to Shabri. Avajananti Mamura. The fools, those who are faithless, those who are mudas, those who are just busy mental speculation, those who are faithless, those who think this Krishna or God is ordinary, right? They will never be able to understand. They'll never be able to perceive. Because from a material perspective, we cannot understand a spiritual. It needs a spiritual vision. And Guru gives that vision, process of bhakti gives that vision. We cannot see God from our eyes, right? Even Krishna gave Arjuna the Divya Chakshu to see. So we have to have that Divya Chakshu through the process of bhakti, yoga, Remanda Churita. Then we'll be able to see God. Then we'll be able to understand God. Because He is purely transcendental. Param Bhava, Param Brahma. Param Brahma, Param Dhama, Pavitram, Paramam Bhavan. Purusham Shashvatam Divyam, Adi Devam, Ajam Vibhum. Asito? What's that? Ahustvam Rishaya Sarve, Devarshi Naradastatha, Asito Devalo Vyasa, Swayam Chaiva Bravishimi. Bhagavad Krishna, Arjuna says this. That Asita, Devala, Vyasa are talking about this. Where are they talking about this? Yeah, these verses we are reading. Asita, Devala, Vyasa are actually talking about this, which Arjuna said. So this is the real process to see God, not through mental speculation, not through even His Grace Gaur Gopal Prabhu was mentioning a very nice point. People challenge, see, show me God, then only I'll believe if God is there. Even Baba, the Prime Minister will not come like that. What to speak of Prime Minister, Chief Minister will. He says, Chief Minister is, if Chief Minister of this state exists, if the Governor of Florida exists, come in front of me, then only I'll believe he's there. Will he come? He said, who are you? Right? Are you qualified to see me? I'm not even qualified to see the Governor. What to speak of the God, who's the Governor of all governors. But if an important business tycoon, let's say a CEO of big company, Amazon, Facebook, they want to see the Governor, will they see them? Of course, yes, right? Because they are qualified. So even to meet a materially qualified person, we have to have some qualification. What to speak of the Supreme Lord? And what is that qualification? Not degrees, not wealth, not number of shlokas, the qualification of faith, bhakti, purity, sincerity, following the Guru. Then they will see. Then God will come running to see that person, like Shabri we just discussed. So chanting, of course, is the process to bring us to transcendental level so we can see God. Any other points which only by the mercy of the Supreme Lord one can understand Him, right? So we need to attract the mercy of the Lord. And how will Lord's mercy come? Yasya prasadat bhagavat prasado, yasya aprasadat nagati kutopi. When Guru is pleased, when Vaishnavas are pleased, the Lord is pleased. Simple. Is this the secret to attract Lord's mercy? By pleasing devotees, by pleasing the spiritual master, the Lord will be pleased. So service, following regulative principles, taking shelter of Guru, directions, all these principles will help us see God. And all these mental speculation, faithless, laziness, ignorance, etc., all these material lower modes, being in the lower modes, not following all these principles will help us to go down. Choice is ours. Any quick comments on this? Any thoughts before we...
So, Prabhuji, what the Prabhupada actually meant that line, deity worship, even in the absence of Supreme Personality of Godhead, awakens the transcendental nature of the devotee. So, what Prabhupada wanted to mean that?
Yeah, I also kind of highlighted that line. It was interesting point. So, in my limited understanding, see, deity is how deities manifest. How deities manifest. Deity is a piece of stone, a piece of metal, a piece of wood, until they become deities, right? In the shop wala, Vrindavan wala, and Mayapur wala, there are a lot of idols. Over there, they are called idols or statues. Over there, they are not served. Over there, they are not. They are basically a product of these different elements: wood, metal, marble, whatever deity one may want to get. Right? You pay the amount, you get that deity. $100, $200, $500, whatever that amount is. That depends on material, size, etc. It's basically like a material product. When do deities come? When does Supreme Lord come? Is by the calling of the devotee. Oh Lord, you please manifest in these forms. So I can, your insignificant servant, I'm not a person who sees God everywhere, but I would want to serve you. You please kindly manifest in this deity form so I can get chance to serve you. Then to the process of that, that ceremony, welcoming ceremony, deity welcoming ceremony, or Pranapratishta, or etc., the deity manifests in that form. Krishna comes and manifests in that form to accept the service of a devotee, to help awaken the transcendental nature of the devotee. And who does? Becomes increasingly attached to Lord's lotus feet. The deity helps us to get attracted to Lord's lotus feet. So this is the way, this is the way I understand. Maybe if other devotees also have some thoughts, you can share on this point.
Might be, Prabhuji, for neophyte devotee who don't, like me, who don't see the Krishna, but we still, we believe if we serve the deity, it will awaken our love to Lord.
Yeah, for everyone, absolutely. Whether we are neophyte or whether we are Paramhamsas, like the Goswamis, they also used to serve the deities. We know the Shad Goswamis, how they had their personal deities or serving Radha Madan Mohan, Radha Gopinath, Radha Ramanji. So yes, absolutely. Deity worship is one of the main important limbs of bhakti, or the 64 limbs. The 5 most important limbs is deity worship. So yes, and especially for grihasthas, it's even more important. Prabhupada mentions. So one must do nicely to the best of one's ability. Even if it is simple, that's fine. Even if it is a simple offering, simple arati, something one must do every day.
One important point about deity worship is Prabhupada mentioning here. The deity form cannot be imagined or cannot be manufactured, like according to material qualities. So which means that what the previous acharyas, they worship, or whatever is according to the shastras mentioned, we have to follow that. We cannot imagine like a deity. So I think that's in deity worship, that is one of the important things.
Wonderful. Yeah, no mental speculation. As we did.
So Prabhuji, actually you are telling that if somebody makes a deity of glass, which is not Shastra permits, so that type of deity should not be worshipped, right? Only the 8 type of deities. You're meaning that, Prabhuji?
You're asking Prem Sankirtan Pro?
Yes, yes.
Yes, actually, we have to, whatever Shastra gives us the instruction, we have to follow that part.
Thank you. Okay. So any more points? I know we covered. These are long verses and important verses, and therefore Prabhupada is giving detailed purports. So we don't want to start a new verse now. We're almost time is up. So the next verse is also quite important. We'll spend significant time there as well. So any last comments or questions before we wrap up? Okay, so I think we'll pause here and we'll continue with the next verse later. So I'm so grateful for your association and thank you for helping to read Bhagavatam together. This is very, very helpful. Grantaraj, Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Purana ki jai, Śrīla Prabhupada ki jai, Samavita Gaur Bhaktivinoda ki jai. Vancha kalpatarupascha kripasindubhyaiva cha patitānaṁ pāvanebhyo vaishnavebhyo. Thank you. Hare Kṛṣṇa.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much.